Hey guys, we're back to start your Saturday morning off with another update video. I'm having so much fun with this Adventureland section that I almost forget that it's part of a larger park. Like I keep forgetting about all this out here, but I'm really quite enveloped in it. I never would have thought I would be having this much fun in Planet Coaster again in 2023. But, if you still, like I said, can look past the lighting, and really, if you have not, if what really helps is, and I hate to say this, you have to put down Planet Zoo for a little bit. You can't play both at the same time, or mentally, you're not going to feel the same about this game. It looks too different. The engines were too different. You're talking a totally different Cobra upgrade on Planet Zoo. So when anybody asks me, and sometimes you guys even say in the comments and stuff, how do you still play this? The lighting is terrible. I can't, you're like, I jump in for 5 minutes and then I have to get back out. I'm telling you, you have to break away from Planet Zoo for a little bit. You can't look at them in the same. You can't literally. You can't look at them in the same light. But if you give this game a couple hours and you, like I said, put Planet Zoo away for a few days, it starts looking normal to you again. It's like this weird lighting eye trick. I can't explain it, but I did it. I haven't touched Planet Zoo in like almost a month now. I was kind of getting like losing inspiration for Planet Zoo anyway. Like, even the Sienna stuff, it was fun jumping in for a while and getting some of that stuff done, but I was really losing inspiration with Planet Zoo. And then I was watching just a theme park vlog of Hong Kong Disneyland. And when they got to the, like the Hong Kong Disneyland Grizzly Trail area of the park, and they were doing no talking, it was just complete walkthrough, that kind of made me think, well, let me just jump back into my castle project. Let me just see if anything sparks. It wasn't just Planet Zoo. I wasn't playing anything really. It's like I took the month of December. I didn't even feel like coming in here and really playing much of anything. But I watched that POV, watched that walkthrough. It's like I didn't watch the whole thing because it's over an hour long. But caught that part and just started catching some inspiration. And even thinking, once we move past Adventureland, I'm thinking of doing a Grizzly Trail type of land. Not doing quote-unquote Western like we had talked about, staying away from, just, because it's just kind of gennaro. I was thinking about doing a Grizzly Trail section first, actually even before Adventureland. But the way this all kind of worked out, and using some of these older blueprints that I had lying around, it just ended up flowing. I just jumped into it. I didn't look back. So I still have plans for a Grizzly Trail, but I want to get this boat ride finished because it's the last attraction of the land. So we've got Exo's insanely fun spinning coaster over here. That is the Adventureland's kind of signature coaster, signature attraction. And then you'll have the river excursion area over here. And this Adventureland, it ended up taking a good chunk of space, didn't it? I mean, you have to figure up here at the tip of his coaster, all the way back over here to the back of Trapper Dan's building, and even the swamp part. They're kind of like the climax, the exciting ending over here that I haven't even started on yet. That is a large chunk of land. I mean, look, it is Adventureland. Its footprint is larger than the steampunk and almost the whole front area of the park. So we definitely spent a lot of time and a lot of resources over in adventure, but it's just one of those themes where I really like rolling with it. It's just I think I theme it really well. I have the most fun theming those jungle type of wild grown areas. Oh yeah, I was telling some people on Twitter and Instagram, follow me on there if you're not, if you have those, at SDanWolf. And the commercial shoot ended up moving out, but then I brought in my Optimus Prime statue that I did years and years ago. I brought him in for a photo shoot. So now if you happen to be making your way down the steampunk land here, going back to ride, Time Warp back there, you might have to stop and get you a little photo in with Optimus. And Gulpy is passing us up. I tell you what, though, ever since I opened the Adventureland, Steampunk Land has been pretty quiet, hasn't it? Yeah. We got a save going on. Hold on one sec. You still get the Planet Coaster save bogged down. It's still going to get you a little bit. You kind of have to just let it do its thing for a few seconds, especially when your parks are getting larger like this. Should kick us back on in a second. See, there we go. See the Aeronauts ride, not as popular anymore. This is a pretty low use land right now, isn't it? They're all excited for the new stuff over at Adventureland, and I haven't even opened the boat ride yet. This is kind of like the little back side entrance to Adventureland, so it's not as grand as when you come in for like the intended main entrance side. But we thought it was important, even a couple of you guys that I talked to, was to not block you off, so you didn't. We thought it was dumb to have people, if they would come all the way to the end of the steampunk area and not be able to transition over into the adventure area and having to go all the way back to that main tunnel. So I think that ended up working out really well. It's kind of like, just like a subtle little side entrance, and you can kind of escape the bigger crowds down in here that are looking to go to the coaster, that are coming in from like the main promenade. I just think that was a really good idea on your all's part to kind of sway me into opening that entrance up. And like I said, you can miss all this. We've got a Wow Man's Adventures Club down here as well. So that's like one of the two, merchandise. Yeah, it's a big merchandise shop. And then, of course, we've got the larger restaurant that kind of anchors this area that I remember I was telling you guys I had built this restaurant for Nepali, I believe Rudy called it, that for his tropical park that he was building in Planet Coaster. So brought it in over here. Got a couple little quick service places down here. Stop in. You've got your slides. You've got your small little souvenir shop. But yeah, so let's just talk about let's talk about why you're here. Let's talk about the boat ride. So the boat ride, the river excursion, you come in. It's kind of like its main entrance here. You can come across the bridge or cut across that way. The bridge idea just seemed cool, so I kind of threw that in there. River excursions, you make your way kind of into that queue, which is there's nothing in there. I've not made it very interactive. Then you come across this main bridge over into the boathouse or the loading house. This is where you start queuing up for the boat ride for river excursions. And we've got some just boats out here tethered. Found this really cool fishing boat on the workshop. And then this is, like I said, I only have one boat running right now, but we'll probably get 3 or 4 once we actually get the ride ready to open. Have to close some stuff up right there. But yeah, this is where they come around and where you step down into the boat. And a lot of you guys asked me about the water. Remember, that is a screen. So these are all screens. And another reason I really like using the screens is they hide the track. So see how the track is just under our screens, but it still gives it that lagoon almost sandy bottom, and I just thought that just looked awesome for what we're trying to do here. And we'll follow the boat here in a minute, and we'll kind of talk about the ride. And I was showing Drew earlier, and he said, "Man, this is like if Jaws and Jungle Cruise had a baby." That is this ride. And we've got our no wake sign. What I'm kind of wondering, do you think the guests will notice the no swimming with the little crocodile symbol? We've got, I believe, dead-eyed ducks, flamingo animations in here. Really, really cool. And, the whole part of this is, as the boat leaves, it is just a calm riverboat ride. I kind of think of it as like the glass bottom boats in Crystal Springs in Florida, if you guys have ever been there. It's got like the underwater mermaids that do the shows, and the glass bottom boats you can see down like hundreds of feet into the lagoon, into the river. That's kind of what I was thinking with this first area. We've got some campers over here, got this guy fishing, and yeah, you're just kind of meandering your way down through here. It's just like a regular little riverboat tour. Then you've got what we're going to pretend are friendly hippos up here at the waterfall, which we know these hippos would, in real life, probably murder everybody on this boat and their families. But I just thought this was fun to have like just a little waterfall section, almost like a little nod to Jungle Cruise. So you get past the hippos, and this is where things start to go a little wiry. Where the boat tour would normally veer you off to the right, there's been a plane crash, and it's blocked your path. So what you normally don't want to do is veer off into Trapper Dan's shack, and that inevitably is going to send you off into the swamp where you don't want to be. So yeah, we've got Trapper Dan's little shack here. We've got his keep out sign. We've got his little shark and some skulls. And yeah, this is normally where you do not want to take that path. And like we said, if there wasn't for this errant plane crash, you would just continue down your guided tour. But that is, like I said, where things go a little amiss, and this is kind of where the theming stops. This is kind of where I have to pick it back up later on today. But the trees are going to be a little more ominous, and then, like you guys said, you really like the kind of like the duckweed swamp, which I had to raise a little higher because it doesn't look right when the swamp water is down as deep as our regular screen. And then since it's a little higher than that screen, we have to bulk up the transition a little bit to kind of hide that height difference. So we achieve that with some of the wiry bushes, a lot more lily pads, and that kind of hides that higher transition, which is what is going to take you into the the spooky swamp section, where you're going to have some kind of like some scary encounters over there before your guide eventually makes your way out and back to safety, back to the boathouse. And so yeah, that is kind of like that's our little scheme here. I know it's not a massive boat ride, but I still think this is pretty large and pretty detailed. Like, even if you just did this on a map by itself. So you have to remember, I'm still trying to save frames. And, we don't want this park to be so bogged down where I can't even really, move around the park anymore. So some concessions have to be made. I kind of have to tone it down a little bit because, Planet Coaster is still Planet Coaster. It's still, once you get so many pieces, almost no matter how beefy of a computer you have, it's still probably going to bog down on you a little bit. Because you guys can even see when we get to a save, it even takes a good 30 seconds now to even get me through a save. But nonetheless, I am still just having a blast in this park. I'm really it's funny. It's like I said, building over here in this and being so down in here and so focused on this, like I forget what's behind me. I completely forget that we're in a larger park. That's how much fun I've had building with this. I'm hoping I catch that same feeling with Grizzly Trail, because that is anybody that's played Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, you know that's a fun feeling when you are so focused on a build that you forget it's a part of a larger project, and that is what has been so freaking fun about this. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how that flow goes. And you know, where do we even put that? Do we, you know, is it time to maybe swing out this way and get an expansion going? Do we, remember, this is just a dead end right here? Does Grizzly Trail kind of start making its way out this way? You know, you can see we still have a lot of land left. Even the corner. Okay, the corner of the park is way out here. Fun little project, though, isn't it? I'm glad you guys have kind of stuck with me on this, even though, you know, we're not really doing a lot of Planet Coaster anymore. There's not even really a big YouTube presence for Planet Coaster. The people that are doing Planet Coaster, like I think it was Moonsocks and a couple of those guys that have stuck with it, are doing incredible projects. But on a larger scale, Planet Coaster's not really covered much anymore. So on that side of it, it's been fun because, you know, I mean, just be honest, I abandoned you guys for 2 years. A lot of the Planet Coaster community did because, you know, Planet Zoo was the nice new shiny toy. That's just naturally what happens, you know. Who's to say if Planet Coaster 2 would come out, you know, next month, would we ever come back in here again? I don't know. But nonetheless, it is really fun to just kind of get back in here and flesh out ideas, like maybe, you know, try things that we may have wanted to try years ago and just never got around to it, this is one of those ideas. I really wanted to try like a style of boat ride like this, but I just never really got around to it. But yeah, now here we are, 2023, and we're making a pretty cool boat ride. So I don't know. You'll have to let me know your thoughts on Grizzly Trail. I'm kind of liking maybe out here, just to kind of push the map out this way a little more instead of kind of trying to keep kind of going out on this angle. Like, just let Adventureland have its space over here, because, you know, such a massive land. Do we want to encroach on that with another land that's going to be probably the same in footprint as the Adventureland with Grizzly Trail? I don't know. You have to let me know. Remember, we originally called this Pegasus. Really, really fun coaster. And yeah, I don't know. We're just kind of just keep rolling on as ideas come to us. This coaster has stayed pretty popular even with Adventureland opening. You can see they still really, really enjoy this coaster. Like I said, Steampunk Land's fallen off a little bit in popularity. Our little kind of like city area, the coaster, it's got a small queue, but still stays pretty popular for being a small little family coaster. The riverboat ride, or the swinging pirate ship, not as popular now that Adventureland's open. Major popularity, like we said, for Emax's spinning coaster. Definitely the new darling of the park. Definitely the new kid on the block. But, of course, we haven't opened I'm not done with the riverboat ride yet, so I'm sure that's going to pull a lot of people over from the coasters. So I'll have to kind of let you know how that interaction plays out. The main little promenade, the main little like city walk area, there's still a pretty good bit of people walking around and kind of making their way into the park. But you definitely have to admit the main attraction is getting into the theme park now, so they're not going to spend as much time out there on City Walk now that all these, now that so many more rides and restaurants and stuff are opening up, and you know, the park's really starting to expand. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm gonna jump on out of here. Wanted to give you your Saturday update. I told you at the beginning of the week I might have this done by Saturday. Didn't end up happening. Not totally done, but we're getting there. Maybe even by tomorrow the showcase will be ready, because you have to figure I'm probably gonna hit this swamp area pretty hard throughout the day. Kind of figure out what we're gonna do with the crocodiles and stuff on that. So, anyways, we'll just keep it rolling for you guys. And yeah, let me know what you think about all this down below. And I'm S. Dan Wolf, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!